Stop assuming your clients don't have money. I currently pay $5,000 a month for 20 hours a week of admin support. No problem. Don't even think about it. Your clients have money, right? And the reason you don't have money is because you're thinking they don't have money.
I'm struggling to stay on top of our revenue and maintain enough cash flow.
When you hedge, you lose. You lose, your clients lose, right? So allow yourself to do one thing and do it really, really well for one particular person. The shit that works, double down, triple down on that.
What should be my strategy for nurturing free consult calls who say yes to my program, but then don't follow through?
Why is it a no?
Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers.
I'm struggling to stay on top of our revenue and maintain enough cash flow. What are the best ways to get a clear handle on this? It's two-part, sorry. Should I explore passive income through products? And if so, what types would be the most effective for a small cafe like mine?
Okay. And then is there another part, or was that the whole question?
I think those are my two questions. Sorry.
Okay. So staying on top of revenue, do you mean tracking revenue, or do you mean like revenue coming in the way that you want it to?
Revenue, I think staying on top of it. To be honest, for the first 3 years of my business, I wasn't on top of any of it. I was working full-time in my cafe. And this last year, I have been able to sort of stand outside of it, look at it from the outside, and go, oh man, I have not been paying attention to anything. I don't know what my profit margins are. Money comes in, money goes out, and then I'm like, where is it? And how can I benefit, or how can I move this in a way where I'm actually not at a place where I am stressed because there isn't enough cash flow, especially during our slow seasons.
Yes. Okay, great. And what do you sell at your cafe?
We are a Latin juice bar / wellness bodega. So there's many revenue streams when it comes to that. There's juices, smoothies, a coffee bar, food, daytime, breakfast and lunch all day. And then there's a small retail section. So when I first started, retail was higher and food was not as, it wasn't as big as it is now. So it's sort of switched. We've become a full-on breakfast and lunch spot. And then the retail section went from like 10 different shelving situations across the wall to just 2.
Okay, got it. And so the majority of your revenue comes from, like, what would you say is like your biggest money maker out of everything that you sell?
That's a great question. I think food.
Okay, so breakfast and lunch is your biggest money maker.
That's correct.
Okay, now this you may not know the answer to. What's the thing that brings in the most profit? What is the most profitable thing that you sell?
I think food, but if I were to be specific, I don't know.
Okay. So how do you track your money? Like, do you have a bookkeeper, or how are you doing this?
I bookkeep pencil to paper.
Oh, no. Why in 2025?
I know. To be honest, I enjoy it, but I'm noticing that that is no longer sustainable for my energy, my time, and also just for the actual financial reasons.
Yes.
That's a really vulnerable thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you know what? I applaud you for being vulnerable and sharing. And I also want to applaud you for getting out of the day-to-day of your business. This is so critical because being a CEO is an actual job, y'all. It comes with actual tasks that you need to do, like tracking money, looking at all of the key KPIs in the business, key performance indicators, and knowing how those things are moving, and knowing like that way you can predict if something's about to go downhill, right? Like you're not in the slide when you discover the slide is happening. You see the slide coming, and then you can make a decision. It's like a hurricane, right? I live in Puerto Rico. So when there's a hurricane coming, we know in advance. And so that we can make some moves, right? Whereas if it just showed up today, we'd be in trouble. And so that's what you want. You want those key performance indicators so you see it coming, and then you can make a shift before what if it's a revenue slide or whatever else it is starts to happen, like when you start to see those key things dropping. Okay. So yes, get you on some kind of business software system ASAP. Like, do you use QuickBooks? Do you use any kind of software?
I signed up for QuickBooks when we first started, and then I never hopped on. And it's definitely something that I don't recommend and wish I got on sooner.
Yes.
And it's difficult, I think, to find a bookkeeper where I am at that will stay on. I've had bookkeepers from time to time come in and they're like, whoa, this is a mess. And then they give me the whole like, I'm not available, I have too many clients. So maybe I should be looking outside and of New York and maybe find a virtual bookkeeper. Maybe that could be something that.
Where are you in New York City?
I'm in upstate New York. Well, not upstate, but the Hudson Valley. So in Hudson, New York.
Oh yeah. In Hudson, literally the town of Hudson. I love
On the
that
Warren
town.
Street.
Yeah, it's so cute. And first of all, there's got to be a bookkeeper there. But even still, you don't need them to be local, right? Yes,
Right.
somebody's mentioning 5-minute bookkeeper, which is Nicole Barham. She's a member of this community. A bookkeeper's job is to clean up your mess. So step one, right? Like fire them, whoever doesn't want to clean up the mess, and you will find a referral before you leave here. Let me promise you. Okay, you already got one, which is Nicole Barham. So
Great.
if you Google 5-minute bookkeeper, you can find her, and I'm sure she can help you.
And
so that's
would you
one
say
thing.
that a food or like food and bev bookkeeper is important to have, or does it not matter?
I think you just need somebody who's accustomed to doing retail. There's actually someone coming to the challenge tomorrow as a special guest. And she has a retail business and she might have a good resource for you. She's a former client of ours. She might a current client, I should say. She has she may have a resource for you for bookkeeping, but that's step one. You got to get that off your plate. And this is one of those things where we have to spend money and it feels scary, but literally you're losing money by not getting this off your plate. So you could focus on, for example, marketing, right? And generating more revenue. So tell me when your slow seasons are. Is it winter in general?
It's basically February through April.
Okay.
And depending on weather, it could go until May. Basically, our busiest season is Memorial Day through Labor Day. And then we see a bump usually during holiday season. So Halloween until, President's Day. But those are just like weekend bumps. And so I like to say the holidays that are 3-day weekends are usually our biggest weeks. And
what have you done in the past to like make money or generate more sales or more foot traffic in the slow season?
Well, I just kind of depend a lot on our Instagram followers. I have found that has been super supportive to our business. So I have a pretty good handle on updating Instagram often. And so just reminding everybody that we're open 7 days a week. And our town usually has places that are only open 4 days a week, catered to our weekend visitors rather than the community. And so, whether it's like we have specials or we post a funny reel, has been my way of handling it lately. But I know that there are probably other ways. I just haven't had the capacity energetically to think of other things to do or other projects that I could probably put more attention to sort of support us before that slide starts to happen.
Yes. So now, are you still working in the day-to-day, or is it if you outsource the bookkeeping, how many hours will you get back in a week?
A lot.
Okay. So let's start with that.
Let's say 12 hours. I'll get 12 hours back probably.
Okay. Amazing. Because I would say let's start that as step one, because bookkeeping actually, especially a part-time contractor bookkeeper, is not that expensive. So get that off your plate immediately so you can get those 12 hours back and then spend those 12 hours on your marketing. So you're saying every time you create a reel, that generates more foot traffic?
Definitely. We've noticed that stories and Instagram reels have been supportive to, at least in our little town.
Okay. No, I like it. Okay. So how often are you posting reels per day?
Daily. Well, we post 5 days a week, and I think I post stories daily.
Okay. So I want you to do more reels. Okay. More reels equal. So whatever your marketing strategy is that works, y'all, do more of it. That's how you make more money. And it's like, I'm laughing, but when you're in it and you're doing 1,000 things, the obvious becomes not obvious, right? Because you're just overwhelmed with so much stuff. But the shit that works, like double down, triple down on that. Don't change the strategy, just do more of it. So what I would love for you to do, Angelica, you have people in your cafe working during the day, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so what if you made it part of their job that they need to record 3 reels during their shift?
Okay.
And make that your employee's job. Because then, first of all, they'll have fun with it. They'll have
They
fresh
will.
ideas. Don't make it your problem, make it their problem. And they'll probably love it. You know, they'll do it together. They'll have, you know, they'll be like on their way to work coming up with ideas for reels that they're going to record that day.
Okay. We usually do things together, but it's cool to kind of give them more of like like they can have their own initiative to do it instead.
Exactly. And you could say, hey, on Mondays, pitch me on your ideas for the week, and then I'll approve the ones I approve, y'all go record. Right. So if you want some oversight on it, like just in the beginning, right, to get them going. And then once you have that trust there and you can see that they're executing well, like they will do it more consistently than you ever will, because you are busy being a business owner, you know? So let them have at it and they'll have so much fun, right? Like they'll probably stay longer because they are having more fun at work, you know? They get to come up with creative ideas and it becomes not your problem. And then sometimes you can jump in and be like, I want to be a part of that one, right? But like when things can be executed without you there, it is magical, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so your first order of business is I want you to hire a bookkeeper, okay?
Yes.
2, you're going to give your employees the initiative of we need to record 21 reels per week, 3 per day. Like what, a breakfast, a lunch, an evening, just to be like, plan to come by tomorrow, right? Whatever that looks like, but like 3 per day. And say like, I would love to hear your ideas, like come up with like, y'all do a brainstorming session, come up with some ideas and then present them to me and then let them do it, right? And then pretty quickly you want to release control and just let them go with it. And then if it's like, if they do a terrible job, you could always take it down, right? If it's something that feels like it's off brand, but like create some basic parameters, you know, and then let them run with it and don't involve yourself. If you are involved, you'll have less reels, okay? If you're not involved, it'll happen a whole lot faster, okay?
Okay, amazing.
Awesome, okay, and then I have one random idea for you that I'm gonna give you real quick before we have to wrap up. And then if you have more questions, if we don't have a lot of Platinum VIPs this week, I'll be able to talk to you again because there's so much I wanna talk to you about.
Okay.
Especially because I love your town. My best friend lives not far from Hudson. So I've been to Hudson many times. It's such a great place. I've thought about hosting a retreat there. So one of the ideas that I have is, and I don't know if you've tried this, but like, what if you turn your place into like, what if you created like a co-working pass for February through April for locals and say like, create some kind of package deal where maybe they get like their coffee plus lunch or their breakfast plus lunch, and like even bring in extra cords, make it easier for them to work and just be like, during this season, like we know you're working from home, maybe but it's winter and maybe it's time for you to get out of the house, right? Like come, you know, co-work 3 days a week and this is what we'll do for you. And like just come up with a package. Maybe they pay it in advance or something like that so that they pay like for the month or for this 3-month pass and then they get lunch every day and however many things, you know what I'm saying? And so like each time they come, you could punch their card or whatever and they've like had their 15 days of co-working over that 3-month period. But that could be a way to get people out of their houses, you know, in the winter time. And then also, you know, other possible events. But I was just thinking like, I'm like, what works for me to get me out of the house? Because I think in the wintertime, I don't know, if I'm in here too much, I start to get depressed. You know what I mean? So I live in Puerto Rico, so I go sit on my patio all year long. But you know,
I need to know where in Puerto Rico. That's where my family. That's where my family's from. So just
awesome, I love it. But so I literally am from New York, so I moved away so that I don't have this winter problem. But I go visit winter.
I'm trying to get there. That's the goal. That's been the end goal of my whole vision, my whole life. So
yes, and it will happen. But releasing control is part of it, right? So step 1, get the bookkeeper. Step 2, let your team take over the reels and like double down on the thing that is working for you. And just those 2 things are probably going to start to improve things. And then you can try the co-working pass if you want, or then you have time to brainstorm other marketing ideas. But that 12 hours you get back, you want to use that for having some mental space for yourself, and then also coming up with marketing ideas. Okay.
Okay, just 2 notes on what we discussed is I had hired a content manager, and they were only supporting me with 21 reels a month. So I recently had to let go of our, like we moved on from our retainer. And
Yes.
I will say that the reason why, after working with them for 8 months, is I realized that with myself and my team, we could get more done, and I could
Yes.
get rid of that cost. So it's
Yes.
really good to hear you sort of support me on sort of jumping off that ledge and letting go of control and kind of giving that to my team. So I
Yeah. So sorry,
appreciate
one
that.
note I just want to make on that for everyone.
Yes.
The content will always be better when it's homegrown. Like, just, it will always be better that way. You know what I mean? Like, your team who's in it all day with you, who are like, they're part of this like business, and like it's theirs, it's collectively all of y'all are going to make better content than like an outsourced contractor. They're there to get you started, right? Like, they can get you on the right path, and then once you have a habit of it, like, bring it in-house, and they can do it all day because they're doing cool stuff all day to run the cafe, so they can just be sharing behind the scenes all day long, and it's easy and seamless for them.
Definitely. And then on the last thing we spoke about, co-working pass sounds awesome. There are a lot of spaces in Hudson that actually offer a co-working space, so it could be hard, in my opinion.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause you on that, just because usually there's no food though. And honestly, coffee and food, I'm here all day. I'm parked. Okay. And I'm a writer, right? So I go to cafes to work, you know, when I want to get out of my house. And it's because I can order lunch, I can order snacks, I can order coffee all day long. And it's just, that's better to me than a co-working space. So just,
well, what if the cafe has only 21 seats? So that's my next, that would be something we could talk about another time, but it's a very small space. So we work with what we got. So it would be hard.
So what if you sold it? What if you sold each seat? Right? Or you could sell each table, you know, or you could get bigger tables, right? So more people, like what if you got like one of those big co-working tables with like power cords in the middle, and like sold those spots and left the other tables. But yes, so might require some extra space planning to make that happen, but that could be pretty cool too, like a big table, and especially if they're like working with the same neighbors all the time.
Okay, awesome. I like it. I can consider that for sure.
Okay, awesome. You're gonna have a lot more ideas too this week, so don't you worry.
Okay,
we're just getting this party started.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Listen up. If you're tired of setting the same income goals year after year and still coming up short, it's time to change the game. You know you're meant for more, but right now your business isn't moving like it should. You've got the talent, the skills, the ambition, but your bank account isn't reflecting that. That's where the Make Money Moves Challenge comes in. For 5 days, I'm giving you the exact strategies, mindset shifts, and money-making moves that have helped me and thousands of other entrepreneurs break out of the feast or famine cycle and start stacking real wealth. No more scrambling to hit your revenue goals, and no more waiting for the perfect time to go all in. You're getting daily action steps that will have you making more money immediately. This isn't a fluffy feel-good challenge. This is about building a business that actually pays you what you deserve. So are you in? If so, join me for our next challenge. Go to hello7.co/challenge to sign up now.
My question is, what should be my strategy for nurturing free consult calls who say yes to my program, but then don't follow through? I'm just going to put this addendum. I'm feeling paralyzed by not knowing what their reasons and objections are. And so I don't know how to address them.
Okay. My first question is, who is your ideal client?
A smart woman who is dissatisfied at work, just really unhappy at work, and wants to change careers, but just has no idea what she wants to do next. So, you know, she can't write a resume. That's not the next step because she doesn't even know what she's shooting for.
Okay, awesome. And what does she want? What's the result she's looking for?
She wants, like, the way I put it is, I help smart women who are not satisfied in their work figure out what they want to do, so that they can be energized by and find meaning in what they do.
Okay. So they want to find a meaningful career.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So they have, is money an issue for them? Like, are they making enough
No.
money in their jobs?
Yes. I have
Okay.
spent 20 years leading tech teams in like Amazon and Akamai. And so the people in my network tend to be people who are making a lot of money.
Okay. But they lack purpose.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. So tell me about the sales call. You have a conversation with them saying, like, they raise what happens before the sales call? Like, how does that get booked?
Right. So I only launched my business 2 months ago with a LinkedIn post, which went like mini viral. For me, it was as viral as I'd ever seen anything happen. And
Yes.
I got like 13 free consult calls out of this and was like, whoa, what the hell? And about 9 of them are valid prospects. And probably 6 or 7 of them were basically like, yeah, let's do it. So the calls seemed to go well. And
So wait, hold on. 6 or 7 said, yeah, let's do it. What does that mean? Like, did you say, okay, great, can I take your credit card?
No,
Did they
right,
said, yeah, let's do
exactly.
it?
Clearly, I'm not doing that part, right?
Okay. Okay.
So the way I was conducting the calls, and this is part of, I'm afraid to do any more posts on LinkedIn or anything and like not do this part right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if I can get them all the way to here and then they say yes and then they don't buy, I don't understand really what's happening.
Well, what I understand is that you didn't take their money.
And no, I didn't. What I did was I sent them like a link to then go buy, right?
No, 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 no. Okay. Take their credit card right there. Okay. Right there and right now. You know why? Because you are talking about, you said these people are busy. They're getting paid well for their work. There's a lot expected of them at work.
Yes.
Right. And so you don't want to send them back into their crazy calendar and their crazy schedule. Like, try to get me to pay for something. Literally. We have a system at Hello 7 so that no one is ever asking me for money. They're always asking somebody else, because if you ask me for money, you are never getting it because I am busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like we have whole team members and whole systems designed for other people to be asked for the money and pay, you know? So don't ask busy people to get back on with you or to like figure it out later on their own. No, 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 no. Don't send them a link. Just say, what credit card would you like to use?
What if I then get the, okay, well, I need to think about it though.
Well, so then you have the real answer, right?
Okay.
So,
great.
and see, so the thing is your fears will lead you astray and talk you out of money, because your reaction to what credit card would you like to put that in? You're not comfortable saying that. And because you're not comfortable, you sent them a link and now they're off in the ether somewhere. Who knows what's going on in their minds, right? That's why you don't know. Whereas if you say, what credit card would you like to use? Then they're going to say, well, whatever reservations they still have, they're going to come up and you can address them right then and there, right? And if it's a no, great. Why is it a no? You're still on the call with them. You get to ask them why. So now you have that information. So never be afraid. Like, the rejection is fine. Say no. But I'm going to say, why is it a no? Tell me. And I want to invite you to tell me the full truth, because that's going to help me to improve. So feel free. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell me the real, right? And then you find out the real data. Then you can address that. Because like maybe there's just one piece missing in your offer, or maybe a different structure. Maybe it's just the time of the calls and you're like, okay, let's do the calls at this time instead,
Right.
So then you can find that out. But if you fall, this is what I was talking about yesterday, where you like walk right up to the sale and then you're like, just kidding. You know what I mean? You did all the work and it's like, we got to cross that line and ask for the money. We can't skip that part. And if it makes you uncomfortable, good. Do it more, because that you got to get comfortable saying, what credit card would you like? You want it to be so regular, like, what credit card? You know what I mean? Like, It's like no stress, right? For you to say it. And the only way to do that is repetition, right? Like practice doing it until it doesn't scare you anymore.
Right. Do uncomfortable things until they're not uncomfortable. Right.
Right. Right. And then let them question you, because sometimes that is the best way for you to, like, remember yesterday with Brenda, right? Brenda was like, is my offer good? I'm like, I don't know. Is it? You know? And then she
Right.
told me, yeah, it is. And here's why, right? So it's like, be challenged. Your best content is going to come from being challenged, right? So let people tell you why, you know, let somebody come try to tell me I'm not the best business coach in the world. I'll be like, word, let's fight. Right? And so like, and then I'll tell them all the reasons why I am, right? So like, it's good to be challenged. It's good to get pushback because that actually brings out, you know, your fight, right?
Yeah.
It brings out like your real purpose. And we're no longer talking corporate speak. We're no longer following the script. We're like speaking from the heart. And that's what's going to sell people, you know?
Oh, that's really interesting too, to like look forward to the part that is the challenge.
Yes.
Because it's actually where the meat is. Like, because honestly,
yes,
I would pay anything right now, not anything, but I would pay something to hear the objection of each one of these 9 women.
yes.
Tell me, is it you don't like the times that are available? You know, we can change the time. Is it,
Yes.
you know, it's too many sessions and you think that's just too much of a commitment? Tell me, we'll do 5 instead of 10. You know, like, just let me know. Because right now
Okay.
I'm just stuck in follow-up mode with them and I don't know which objections to address.
Yes. Okay. So here's what I want to invite you to do. I want you to do 2 things.
Okay.
One, there's too much. You've made this legendary, right? So this is your homework. 1, you had this LinkedIn post. It went viral. It validated your offer. It let you know that people want what you have, right?
Okay. Yes.
But I don't want you to rely on that. Okay. The future of your business is not dependent on that one post.
No.
So now keep posting, right? Keep showing up and keep asking people to book sales calls with you.
Okay.
Right. So like that was just validating, but our whole business isn't dependent on these 13. Right. And so whenever you are feeling desperate for clients and you're like, oh, I really need to close this one, it's because you don't have another one coming. Right. So let's go focus on having another one coming. Right. No one lead is the end and beginning, you know?
Okay.
So
Okay.
go get you some more leads. How about some more LinkedIn posts consistently? And every time ask for the sale. Okay. So that's homework item number 1 is start consistently creating that content, similar articles. There's more where that came from. Okay.
Okay.
And you can even use examples and stories from those 13 or 9 calls that you did, right? That data that you got from them, share those stories, right? And talk about how you address those challenges. Because that's what's going to draw more people in. Okay. So that's one. The second thing is you said you would pay money to know what was going on with these women. Don't pay money, send them a text. Like text them, send them a 1-liner email, right? Because like when I'm busy, guess which emails I respond to? The ones that are short, that I'm like, I could give a quick answer. I will skip over every single essay in my inbox and it'll be a month before you hear from me. But if you send me a short email, you can get an answer today, right? So what if you sent them a subject line that says, you know, why aren't we moving forward? Right? Is literally the subject line question mark. Okay. Yeah. And then the email is 1 sentence. We had a great call. You talked about how your work is not doing it for you anymore. Are you ready to move forward? Right. And so like something like that, or why aren't we already working together? Like you got to be bold and real and honest and just like straight up. Why are we not? Are we doing this or what? You know, like that could even be the subject line. Are we doing this or what? Right. You know what I mean? And you could put LOL, just checking in to see, are you ready for your purpose yet? I'm ready for you. Right. And it's like, sometimes we got to be bold to get that answer, you know, and not do the whole, hey, just following up. So blah, 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 blah. It's like, blah. Just be straight up and real, how you would talk to your girlfriends, right? Okay. That's how you want to talk to them. And then I think you'll get you'll get some of them responding. They'll tell you either yes or no and why. And then you'll have the information you need and it won't cost you any money. Okay.
Okay. I honestly have a feeling like I would never respond to an email like that myself. Not the short one that you described, I might, just like you said, but I tend to also just ignore emails. So I don't expect them to reply to me when I'm just asking them for information. You know?
Right. Well, it's just why. So here's what it is we're disrupting the pattern. There's a pattern that is expected because this is how everybody talks, this is how everybody shows up, this is how everybody acts. And when you do something differently, it's saying, I'm interested in this. What you talking about? Okay, you got me with the subject line. Let me click, you know?
Okay.
Especially if I could read the whole email from just the preview portion, I don't even got to open it, right?
Right.
You know? And so disrupt what they're expecting and do something different. That's what stops people in their tracks, right? And so, and what we're afraid to do is do something different. We're afraid to be bold. We're afraid to be different, but being different is exactly what's going to get us the result we're looking for. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This is great.
You're so welcome.
We've officially rescheduled ROI The Millionaire Summit 2025. Join me, Hello7, and hundreds of your newest business besties in Huntington Beach, California from June 17th through the 19th for 3 days of high-impact, high-caliber fun. Let me tell you why ROI The Millionaire Summit is happening at the perfect time. June is the ultimate mid-year reset. It's your chance to pause, reflect, and redirect your energy for the months ahead. By the time the summer rolls around, you've had 6 months of wins, lessons, and challenges. That makes June the moment to evaluate what's working and ditch what's not, and pivot for even bigger success in the second half of the year. I'm so excited to invite you to ROI 2025 this summer to reconnect with your vision and take $1 million action with me. Come to dream bigger, move boldly, and reconnect with your purpose. So if you're ready to realign with your vision, sharpen your strategy, and set yourself up for massive wins, ROI is where you need to be. Head to hello7.co/ROI to grab your ticket.
So my question is, as I'm transitioning from loosey-goosey freelancer, business owner, essentially really hiding, I know that's what it is, but transitioning from that to really building out a full agency for coaching and consulting. What are the things that I should be focused on? What mindset shifts should I be making? What systems do I need to make sure I have in place? And mostly, what should I be focusing on in marketing? So should I be doing ads, making that a part of my marketing structure, or that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we get behind my marketing?
What is your goal? What are you, when you think about going from freelancer to agency, what is the purpose? Why are you doing that? What's your goal?
Yeah, so I want to really kind of be a pinnacle of strategy and systems and support for liberating, like organizations that are trying to liberate or practice liberatory practices. So I want to be a go-to. Honestly, I want to be a go-to agency. I want to be a go-to agency for leaders. I want to be a go-to agency for organizations that really want to build better ways of doing business that are aligned with their values, aligned with their vision, and make a lot of money doing it, honestly.
Okay. I was going to say, okay, and what's in it for you being a go-to agency? Because I'm like, get to the selfish part. Okay, that's the part that I want to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, right, like I want to, like, of course, we all do work. I do mission-driven work as well. And I also want to get paid, right? So I think sometimes we're so focused on the mission that we forget about the part where we need to make money, right, to keep showing up for this mission. And that's a critical piece of the mission continuing, right? And also we need to take care of ourselves. So everybody here, please know you have permission to be selfish. Please be selfish, okay? Please prioritize yourself and your needs in all of this, okay? All right, so make more money, cool. And tell me, who are your ideal clients?
So primarily visionary Black women leaders. That's who I focus on. High achieving Black women, be entrepreneurs, leadership, whether corporate, whatever sector, but visionary leaders. But I'm adding in organizations as well that want to support, just want to retain clients and want to retain visionary talent as well. So really focusing on, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, right, you said something about loosey-goosey in the beginning. And one of the things you said that caught my eyes, you said coaching and consulting. And then you also said visionary leaders and organizations. I want you to choose. I want you to make a decision about who you're going to serve, at least right now. Because trying to serve more than one is going to make you less specialized, right? So like, you'll be less focused so that when one of these, if a visionary leader or an organization comes to your website, right, or thinks about working with you, both of them will feel less targeted. They'll feel like your stuff is not specific enough to them. Even when you're creating marketing content, sometimes you'll be talking to organizations, other times you'll be talking to visionary leaders, and it's like, well, which one do you serve, right? So in the beginning, when you are working towards, making a name for yourself, becoming the go-to agency, in order to be a go-to agency, we have to be a go-to agency for something and for someone, right? So be specific in what the offer is and the transformation is, and be specific in who the client is. When you hedge, you lose. You lose, your clients lose, right? So allow yourself to do one thing and do it really, really well for one particular person. So when you think about that, don't think about what's going to sell, right? Think about what do you actually want to do and whose life do you actually transform, right? Like, and where do you feel like your work would really light you up? What is the answer to that?
It's hard in this moment because the answer is both. So can I just tell you kind of how I got here? Just a brief.
Yes.
So I'm in year 5. So I've
Okay.
been focusing on Black women for the past 5 years. So
Yes.
this was intended to be an expansion.
Okay,
So-
I just want you to know this is the first time I heard you say Black women. Because in none of that intro did you say Black women, right? So even that, right? Getting that elevator pitch correct. You know what I mean? So that we know exactly who's being served. All right. So you're in year 5 serving Black women.
Mhm.
Keep going.
Yeah, so that was the piece. This is intended to be an expansion beyond just focusing on one-on-one. Since I have been doing that for so long, I wanted to expand into more consulting, working with organizations more. So that's why I did that. So you're saying, okay.
Well, right. And it's also like, let's get actually to the heart of it, right? So you don't want to do one-on-one work anymore. What kind of work do you want to be doing?
I mean, I do. I do. I really enjoy one-on-one work. It has been my passion. I enjoy the one-on-one space.
Why are you changing it?
I'm kind of bored.
Okay. So like, listen, it's okay to be bored and it's okay to be done with something. You know what I mean? So don't hold on to it. If you're like, okay, I'm past that. I'm ready to grow into something else. So what is it that you're ready to grow into?
Yeah, really consulting, because I can still work with the leaders. I'll still work with them. I'm offering
Okay, you still hedging. You're still hedging. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you want, what you really, really want. Okay. None of the stuff that you don't want. Okay.
I want to make organizations better places for women of color, Black women to work. I want to make those places better.
Now that is an elevator pitch. Okay. I make organizations better for women to work at, or something like that. Boom, it's clear.
Yeah, my tagline is systems weren't built for us, so we build better.
Yeah, exactly. But even better is what you just said, because it's more clear about what you do and who you do it for. And you just like put that line in the sand is this is what we do. Because otherwise, if you hedge in your language, then what's going to happen is all kinds of different random people are going to come to you. And it's going to be a lot of dissatisfied work. Like a lot of them will not be a good fit, so that it'll be a waste of time. Right. And it's like you won't get to the meat of the people who you really want to serve. So like, don't hedge, just be specific about what you want and go for it all the way. Okay.
My question is, who is my, I don't know how, okay. Who has
Just
my
ask it. It's okay.
Who has my money? Who has my money?
Wait, this is my favorite question.
Who,
And you know what? It's a damn good one. Who got my ones is what I need to know, right? Who has my money? This is an excellent question.
I've been thinking about this since Monday. I said, I've scripted, I've done everything. Like, who has my money? Because somebody has my money and they need my services. And I am trying to figure out who it is. Because they're waiting for me. And I still haven't figured out who to talk to about it. So literally, I'm like, who has my money?
I love it. Okay. So tell us what you do. What problem do you solve? B.
So I have a business called the Admin Cure, and it's literally administrative, creative, and tech support. I have a background in admin for over 15 years. I was a content creator, got nominated for an award for that, and I'm nerdy, so I like tech. And
Yes.
basically, people come to me and one question leads to the other and leads to the other. So I created an agency. I already did that. Yesterday, when you're talking about your $1 million offers, I was like, Rachel, I already got everything, but who has my money? I can make $1 million in 6 months. Who do I go to? And it's because I think I'm a bit neurospicy, and I know a lot of people, like I network in a lot of places, right? And so when the doctor was talking yesterday about people coming to her and asking her for advice, and she realized, actually, you should pay me for that. I get that a lot. Like I get on a call with a potential client and they're like, oh, I'll get back to you. And then while she's talking to me, I'm giving her information. She's taking notes. I'm like, she's taking notes. She needs that information. I should have charged her for that. So I know I can charge more. I have a team that's ready to work. I just need to figure out exactly who to go to and go like, hi, um, you have my money, you need me, so pay me so I can take care of you. Basically, that's so I'm trying to figure it out. Don't know who to go to. I'm in so many places.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely, I mean, this is definitely $1 million business. In terms of admin, who here could use these services? Raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur and you're like, I need admin support, I need tech support, I need help with creating content, right? Like people are raising their hands, they're saying in the chat. I think your ideal clients are, you know, entrepreneurs, small business owners, right? So tell us, like, what is the package that you imagine? Because I think these are your clients. They're all here. So
Guys,
she is the solution to your problems. I was like, I might need you. Let's talk more. Like,
I'll drop my booking link right now, like you guys to book a call to see me on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I have done all that, but I'm like, who do I talk to? So my admin support is, I call it unlimited admin, but it's capped around 20 hours a week. So calendar management, email management, transcription. I think I kind of whistled it down to 5 things, and sorting out that. And then creative, I have a team of creatives. I have a video editor and 2 graphic designers. One of them is also like a web designer. So basically you come to me and you go, Vesta, I've got this idea. So my name is Vesta and I shorten it to V. And you go, Vesta, I have this idea. Can you help me make it come to life and get my money for me? And I'm like, bet, I've got that for you. But I just don't know who to talk to because I'm in so many places, like beauty blogger side, and I'm going to events. Yesterday, whilst I was on a call, I was at a health tech investor program. And I'm like, oh, do I talk to these people? And then this evening I'm supposed to be at another like very nerdy thing, but I'm tired, so I'm not gonna go. So I'm like, Vesta, you need to, I know,
focus. Yes. Yes.
focus. I need to finish one thing. And that's why I'm like, I need to focus and finish one thing and just get my money before I go play. I can go play later. I need my money now. I need money.
Yes. Okay. I like prioritizing the money. This is good. Okay. All right. So who do you actually want to work with? Like what size business and what type of entrepreneur is the most fun for you to work with? And do you think will get the best results with you?
That's the problem. Okay. So for example, when I did the challenge, I spoke to a potential client and she wants me to manage her. She has over hundreds of thousands of followers on Insta and her engagement is like 5.4 million a month. And she just says, Vesta here, this is all my stats. Can you sort that out for me? And I find that exciting. But what I don't like about it is the money is not upfront. I would like to work with such a client in the future as a consultant thing. But right now, I need people who go, I'm paying you these 4 or 5 figures and I've got this project. Can you take care of it? And that's my problem. I can't seem to pinpoint exactly who to take care of.
Yes. So I think you need to think about like, okay, it's a small business, right? I think you're clear on that. It's like either a small business, influencer, that could sort of be the same thing, but it's like an entrepreneur, right? Because even influencers are entrepreneurs, they're selling something. And so you're talking about entrepreneurs that don't have a full team, right? Because I have a team of 22 people, right, who do various things. Now, does that mean we don't have gaps? Of course, we always have gaps to fill, and who are willing to spend thousands of dollars per month for your support and your team's support. So what I want you to do is think about the $1 million offer training that I did yesterday. I want you to turn it into a package, right? So not like the admin services. So you could say, and also here's a tip. If it's not unlimited, don't call it unlimited. Because then you making people mad for no reason, right? Like we're setting up for, you know what I mean? Where they're like, I thought it was unlimited. You know what I mean? So just just like give it a fun name that's kind of like, I'm going to basically solve your the stuff that you need to get off your plate. I'm going to help take that off of your plate, right? And so have a package. I want you to come up with 1 to 3 different packages at different price points. So like you have the 20 hours per week package, right? Which I would just say like, okay, it's 80 hours per month, right? And in that time, here's what we do. You get 20 hours of admin support per week. You get however X amount of creative support per week. And then I don't know if the tech is necessarily any different. So
No, I thought that would just be a good upsell because I had a client wanting me to secure his assets and stuff. That was a potential client. She wanted me to secure things and make sure all that back end stuff was sorted. I'm like, oh, I know a few people in tech, they can take care of that for you. So that person is a contractor, not employed by me. So it's just for, yeah.
So I would just package it and say like, you get this amount of support. So like you're looking at entrepreneurs who need content creation, entrepreneurs who need scheduling and calendar management, calendar management and email management, right? Those 2 things, content creation, and then tech support as needed. And you can package that all up in like, this is what we do. When you hire my agency, this is what we do for you. And it's X amount per month. So how much would you charge for that for 80 hours a month? And you could also, since the graphic design and the video editor, you have to do the math on like, okay, how many hours can I farm out to them and still get my profits, right? So what would get you excited to be paid on a monthly retainer basis? Because this is not a one-time thing. I want you to stop responding to whatever clients come in and say, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? I want you to say no, and I want you to slide them your packages, let them pick one, and then they pay you with a contract with a minimum of 3 months. Okay. And then they're paying you on retainer on a monthly basis. So it comes out on the 1st of the month, you get the money in your bank account, and then you do the work for the month. Okay. What's stressing you about this?
Pocket watching. Okay. Because what you're saying, when I did the math on Tuesday, I think we did the Tuesday double your prices and stuff.
Yes.
Minimum is like £4,000 to £5,000. I'm like, and I'm pocket watching. I know it's a mental thing, and I'm pocket watching because I'm like, is somebody going to pay me that?
Yes, they are. I currently pay $5,000 a month for 20 hours a week of admin support. Currently, that is one of the bills that I am paying right now. No problem. Don't even think about it. Okay. So stop assuming your clients don't have money. Yes. Your clients have money, right? And the reason you don't have money is because you're thinking they don't have money, right? So recognize that they do have money, that they're willing to pay you to solve their problems, right? And then just put the offer out there and ask for what you actually want, okay?
Okay.
So I want you to ask for a minimum of £4,000 a month for this package. And then I want you to go pitch it, and it's a 3-month contract, and you will do this work with them. And then, after 3 months, it require 30 days notice. So that way, if they're going to offboard, you have 30 days notice to go replace that client, right? So the terms matter. And I want you to give them terms and a contract that says all of that, okay? And then sign them up. So, because not everybody is a good client. Some people say they want to be a client, but then they don't want to pay your fee. And it's like good admin support to get all of these different things handled, in one place for £4,000 a month. That's a good deal. That is a good deal. Because if they hired someone to do all of that stuff, it would cost them $100,000 a month at least, because they need an admin and they need creatives and maybe tech support as well, right? So like if they were to do it themselves, it will cost them 3 times that. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't have to even believe it. You just have to do it. Okay.
Oh, doing it, I'm fine. It's just I just wanted to be clear on because I'm fine with socials. Put a camera in front of me, I'm not shy. Like
Clearly, yes.
I talk like I'm talking to a friend, and I'm giving you the tea, and you're going to get this tea because content creating is my thing. I just wanted to know, like, which of my niche industry should I focus on, or should I just be general and hope someone falls into the basket?
Yes, I don't think you have to be niche on industry. I would be niche on size of business, right? So you're specifically looking for, I will tell you, you're looking for content creators who are probably making around $1 million a year and less. who cannot afford a full-time team, like they cannot afford to pay a full-time salary for each of these roles that
Or
your
if they
agency
manage
is
them
filling.
themselves, because I know people.
Exactly.
And I'm a great
Exactly.
manager. I've managed 50 people at a time, and that was like it was literally nothing for me.
Exactly. So they don't have to. So these are all the things that you're going to say to them that convinces them to work with you. They don't want to manage people, right? They don't have time to manage people, or they think they don't. They don't have, you know, the money to pay 3 different people to do this work. So you will handle all of that for them for this monthly fee. And that is the introductory fee, because the price is definitely going to go up, I promise you.
Oh,
And then
definitely.
just focus on the size of business. So you're looking for someone, and I would say entrepreneurs making at least $500,000 a year and who are content creators, right? Who are prioritizing content creation. That's all the niche you need. And you're easily going to be able to get at least 5-10 clients that will cover your costs and, you know, like pay you a very good salary. And then you can
Yeah.
decide where you want to go from there. That's what
Yeah.
I would do. So I would
Yeah.
make it a revenue limit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I had a revenue limit, and I'd already created plans to create a course, a subscription, something, and I wanted to
Don't
be
do the course. Don't do the subscription. You know why? I mean, do it in the future if you want to. But
in the
right
future. Yeah.
now, you're selling a done for you service, and people, that is very much in demand. It's always going to sell, and it's always going to sell quick. Do that first, and then use the proceeds from that to go create your course. And then the people who can't afford your done for you services can use the course to be able to do it themselves. Make sense?
Exactly what I thought. Exactly. Thank you. Oh my God.
You're so welcome.
My question is, should I decrease my prices for patients who reach remission and do well after year 2 or year 3?
So should you decrease your prices? Okay, why would you decrease your prices for these patients?
Because the value that I provide is to get them to remission. I'm a rheumatologist. I'm out of network, out of insurance. I ask them for a good amount of money, but once they are in remission, they don't necessarily see the value of staying with me since they are in remission.
Okay, so why would they stay with you? What would be the reason to stay with you?
Because you never know, basically.
Right. Okay, so basically continuing with you, not only it's about reaching remission and staying in remission.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you should decrease your prices. I mean, maybe, does the intensity drop down once they're in remission?
Yeah, so like the first time I see them, the first 2 visits is pretty expensive, and then there is like a package for a year, and basically I'm like, I'm gonna put you in remission. I mean, you are gonna go in remission, but I'll help you. And then after that, it's true. Like I don't necessarily need to see them that often. They don't necessarily reach out to me that often. That's the good, right?
Okay,
That they don't necessarily
yes.
need me as much. But the question is, do I decrease the price? But then I still need to see them. And so
Right, exactly. So why would, I don't think you should decrease the price just because I think what you're saying is like, once you're on the other side of it, you're in a different place. And maybe they have less motivation to purchase at that time.
that's
So,
right. Yeah, that is
okay.
right.
So what if you put it into a longer package? Like what if it was a 2-year package? For example, so like the goal is to get you into remission within 12 months. And then after that, you're going to continue on with me to remain in remission. You know, and then maybe it's like how often they see you might drop down. So they may not need to see you as often, but they still need to see you. And the value is still the same, right? Like the whole point, I mean, this is a pretty huge value proposition, right? Like you're talking about health and they have a serious health threat and you are helping them to get past that health threat and to keep it at bay. So I think even part of it could be some education about how important it is to continue that work. And do you have any stats or research on that to share with them?
There's well, it's very individual, so there's not just
Yes.
but there's actually studies on biology. So I don't want to take too much time, but basically it's kind of like like it's hard at first. It's inflammation.
Yes.
So you are very aggressive at first. Then you are stable, and then that's when you back off. And when you back off, there is risk of flares. So I could explain that, but I don't like to fear. I don't like to lead by fear because
Yes.
it's terrible. So I want them to feel very safe and very hopeful. And so I like this idea. I've never thought of the 2 years package. Maybe that's what I need to do, and then increase the price. But then not everyone is going to be able to pay for that.
Well, if you spread it over time, it's the same thing, just over a length of time, right? And so the thing is too, here's the thing. When you have an offer that is structured in a way where there's a moment in time where your buyer, your customer is highly motivated to purchase at that time. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get them the results that they were after in the first place. And then they're going to be like, well, I'm done, and no longer be motivated to continue to pay you. Right? Even though that may continue, like you may still be delivering services to them. So if that is the case, then I would just create a whole package that includes everything. So that way, because it's almost as if, because if you were thinking of it that way, if you were going to drop the price on the sessions that happen after remission, then you should raise the price on the sessions that happen before remission. Right? Like, and it would counteract, you know what I mean? Because they would have more value. So I would say like, this is a 2-year journey. And over the 2 years, in the beginning, we're going to meet regularly. It's going to be a little bit more aggressive. And then over time, you know, as you improve, we're going to slow it down, but we want to slow it down in a monitored way, right? Because we don't want to send you back to where you were, right? So like slowing it. And I don't think that's scaring them. I think that's just saying it's being practical, right? It's giving them the information that they need so that they don't, you know, launch themselves back into issues, you know? And so then create that full package and then say, okay, it's a 2-year package and maybe they pay quarterly or they can pay monthly, and it includes everything so that you're not devaluing your work because they're less motivated because you've gotten them an amazing result, right? So they're paying the entire package for 2 years to get the full result, which is in remission and staying in remission. That's how I would do it, right at the front.
That's
that
it.
helpful?
No, you figured it out. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank
That
you
was
so
too easy.
No.
Thank you, Isabel. And oh my God, you're doing amazing, life-changing work. Truly, truly.
You want to make more money? You are in the right place. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers.